Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Cobern, and today's episode is the top 5 best wide receivers in the 2018 NFL Draft Class based on analytics. And we're going to get to the top 5 based on 3 main metrics. The first being production, specifically passing yardage, market share, production. The way you get that number is you take a wide receiver's receiving yardage in one season and you divide it by the team's passing yardage. So, for example, if a wide receiver had 1,000 yards in 1 year and the team passing yardage was 4,000, you divide 1,000 by 4,000, you get 25% market share. But where the magic happens is when you take that one market share production number and you compare it to every single wide receiver's market share production since the 1969 NFL Draft Class, and you also took the time to label all the wide receivers in terms of All-Pro, Pro Bowl, starter sort of production or certain benchmarks in their career, and then you start to see a correlation, you start to see a pattern, and you start to be able to see this is where the special players usually end up when it comes to market share production, and this is where the other players that are usually just starters end up. So it's a very good barometer for quality outcomes at the NFL level for figuring out who has a very good chance of becoming a high-quality player, and that's why we're including it in this list. On top of age, age is also important when it comes to high-quality outcomes. Typically, wide receivers that are younger become better players long-term. So if a player is very dominant at a very young age, typically those types of players end up becoming higher quality players in the long run compared to players that are older who dominate at the college level. And then the last part of this is with athleticism scores. And yes, the combine hasn't happened, but what we do have available is what the NFLDraftScout.com reports as their 40-yard dashes. So essentially, I took the numbers that NFL Draft Scout reported and came up with their speed score and then compared it to every wide receiver's speed score since the 1999 NFL Draft Class to give a good barometer for how fast they are for their size compared to other wide receivers. So those are the 3 metrics that we're going to be using when it comes to the top 5, and let's get to the list. At number 5, we have Michael Gallup, wide receiver out of Colorado State. When it comes to actual factuals in terms of height and weight, according to NFLDraftScout.com, he's 6'1", 195 pounds, and reportedly ran a 4.52 40. Based on his production, he scored 91.53 out of 100 in terms of passing yardage market share production compared to every wide receiver since the 1969 NFL Draft Class. Age-wise is decent with a 79.95 age score. And unfortunately, the only thing that he gets dinged on a bit is his speed score, only a 43.83 speed score, which is below average speed. He's going to have to make up this with his vertical broad jump, explosion testing, or with the short shuttle 3 when it comes to the combine. But when you look at his production, he has elite production, he has fairly decent age, and Michael Gallup is someone that has all the tools, all the things on paper to suggest a high-quality NFL player at the next level, and that is why he's number 5 on this list. At number 4, we have Richie James, wide receiver out of Middle Tennessee State. When it comes to the height and weight from NFLDraftScout.com, he's 5'9", 180 pounds, and also ran a 4.47 according to NFL Draft Scout again. And when it comes to his production, he scored 89.42 out of 100, which hits all the areas you're looking for when it comes to multiple All-Pro production. Age score is 62.06, which is at least above average when it comes to age. He's not the youngest player ever when he enters, but he is going to be someone who at least has a decent age score. And based on his speed score, he only had 48.60 out of 100, which is below average speed or about average speed for his size. Some of this is because he's reportedly 5'9", 180 pounds. He might come in larger, he might come in smaller, we just don't know yet. And on top of that, he may have other special athleticism qualities. He may be really good when it comes to vertical and broad jump. He may be exceptional when it comes to short shuttle and 3-cone. But the bottom line is, when you look at that production, 89.42 is dominant production, on top of having a very decent age score and at least speed score that isn't so bad that you just take him off your list when it comes to him. So there's lots of positive with Richie James on paper, and that is why he's number 4 on this list. At number 3, we have James Washington, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. When it comes to height and weight, he's 6 foot 205 pounds with a 4.5 40 according to NFLDraftScout.com. Based on his production, he scored 71.88 out of 100, which at least hits the 3-time Pro Bowl level when it comes to his market share production. But he definitely can improve on this number once the season starts. And the reason why he's on this list, though, at least at number 3, is because of his age and because of his speed score. His age, he scored an 82.445 age score, which is fairly decent, and his speed score is a 74.85 speed score, which is above average for his size. When you look at his overall profile, the main things that pop out with James Washington is that he has 3-time Pro Bowl level production, a very decent age score, on top of very good speed. All the components are here for James Washington to become a much better player this season and improve on these numbers. But bottom line is based on what he's already shown, he should be considered the 3rd best wide receiver in the 2018 NFL Draft class, with a whole lot more potential to become even better this season. At number 2, we have Christian Kirk, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. When it comes to height and weight, he apparently is 5'11", 200 pounds with a 4.3 940 according to NFLDraftScout.com. Based on his production, he scored 70.62 out of 100, which is 3-time Pro Bowl level production, which is fairly decent, and he could always improve on this number during the season. And the reason why he's number 2 on the list is because of age and because of speed. Based on his age, he has a 95.38 age score, which is really impressive. He's going to be one of the youngest wide receivers in the 2018 NFL Draft class, on top of his speed score, which is 92.88 out of 100. Christian Kirk has all the tools, all the makings of a wide receiver that could be considered, or maybe should be considered, the number 1 wide receiver in the 2018 NFL Draft class, but only if he bumps his market share production up a bit. If he starts to get into that 5-time All-Pro level, that'd be great, but at least getting into 3-time All-Pro level would also be nice as well. So there's tons of positives with Christian Kirk. The only thing that's really holding him back now is just his market share production isn't exactly where it needs to be in terms of elite outcomes at the next level, but everything else with Christian Kirk is off the charts, and that's why he's number 2 on this list. And at number 1, we have Courtland Sutton, wide receiver out of SMU. When it comes to height and weight, he's 6'3", 218 pounds, according to NFLDraftScout.com. He also ran a 4.58 40. And based on his production, he scored 89.89 out of 100, which is 5-time All-Pro level when it comes to his market share production. And when it comes to his age score, he's going to be 94.25 out of 100 on draft day, which is a very, very, very good age score. And the only thing that really holds him back is his speed score. Only scored 60.29 out of 100, but at least he has above average speed. But based on his profile, if you just look at these numbers and you look at his production, he's essentially a much more productive version and younger version of Mike Williams of Clemson. 6'3", 218 with a 4.58 40. That's almost identical to what Mike Williams had at the Combine this year. And who knows, Sutton may come to the Combine and test even better than Mike Williams. So there's tons of positives with Sutton just based on size and based on his age and based on his production. And all those things just kind of help him out the most, especially his production helps him out the most as to why he's the number 1 wide receiver on this list when it comes to analytics in the 2018 NFL Draft class. This concludes the top 5 wide receivers in the 2018 NFL Draft class based on analytics. My name's James Cobern. You can follow my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That's always helpful when you guys do that. Share this video with friends and family. And also let me know, who do you think are the top 5 best wide receivers in the 2018 NFL Draft class? This, of course, is based more on numbers, but I do like to get the gauge of people who just watch film as well. You know, what your general thoughts are when it comes to the top 5 wide receivers in the class. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.